Yeah. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to the Morning Motivation Show. You know what I'm saying? How's everybody doing? Woo! Welcome to the Morning Motivation Show. Yeah. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Listen, today's episode 27. Yes. Final episode of season 1. Give myself a real applause up in here. Episode 27 is called What It Feels Like to Achieve Your Goals. I repeat, this episode 27 is titled What It Feels Like to Achieve Your Goals. We have a great show. I have a guest coming through. But listen, as we always do when we start off the show, you know what I'm saying? Let's start off with a lot of things going on in our lives. I hope everybody's having a great day. For those who are just joining for the first time, this Morning Motivation Show is literally your quick pick-me-up in the morning. Today, I'm kind of super excited because this is my final episode of season 1. I did a whole bunch of episodes. You know what I'm saying? I had a great time. This is a great show, but I really want you guys to be as excited as I am. For those people who are just joining right now, don't worry. We're still going to have a great time. For those people who've never seen this show and they've heard about this show and their friends suggesting it, trust me, this is not trash. You know what I'm saying? But listen, let's start off the show like we always start off the show. And literally it is with our quick pick-me-ups of the morning. You know the vibes all the time. Wherever you from, just put it in the comments. Tell me where you're from. Tell me what your motivation of the morning is. But let's start with our quick pick-me-ups. Let's go. Hey. Good morning. What's up? Hey. Good morning. What's up? Hey. Good morning. What's up? Everybody, we about to start with these quick pick-me-ups. Let's go so we can check it out. Let's go. Wherever you are in doubt, choose yourself. Whenever you are in doubt, choose yourself. That's a fact. Don't look back. You ain't going that way. That's a fact. Just do what works for you because there will always be somebody who thinks differently. That's from Queen Michelle Obama. That's a fact. If you are serious about changing your life, you'll find a way. If you're not, you'll find an excuse. That is a fact. You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. That is a fact. At any given moment, you have the power to say, this is not how the story's gonna end. That's a fact. Sometimes you don't get what you want because you deserve better. Oh my God, that's a fact. Solve the problem or leave the problem. Do not live with it. Hey, everybody. Good morning. What's up? I said good morning. What's up? Hey, everybody, good morning. What's up? Next one. Believe you deserve it and the universe will serve it. Whoa, let's say that again. Believe you deserve it and the universe will serve it. That's a fact. Win in your mind and you will win in your reality. Listen, this ain't motivational fluff. That's a fact. I'm winning. Sometimes your heart needs more time to accept what your mind already knows. Give it the time. Whoa, that is a fact. I'm about to rewind all these. And like I always say every show, everybody, repeat after me. Today is my day no matter what. I won't let any hater in my office get me down. I won't let any hater that texts me in the morning get me down. I won't let any hater in my family who tries to call me with the negative vibes get me down. And I won't let me stress myself out. I decide today to have a great day. Repeat it again. Today is my day no matter what. I won't let any hater in my office get me down. I won't let me stress myself out. I decide today to have a great day. Hey. And as I said, good morning. What's up? I said good morning. What's up? Good morning. What's up? Yo, what's going on, everybody? My name is KaleafWins. Welcome to the Morning Motivation Show. Today's topic is what it feels like to achieve your goals. We got a lot to talk about. This show is for the individual who is literally on their way to work and they're still thinking about what they want to do. They're still saying, hey, I want to do something with this dream I have in my head, or I hate my job. Or let's say you own your own company and say, you know what? This might not be the company for me right now. I've been thinking about this dream for years, but I've never put into action. Listen when I tell you. You guys, number one, thank you for watching my first 26 episodes of the Morning Motivation Show. First of all, let me thank you for that. Why is that important to me? Because this was a dream in my head. This is something I thought about repeatedly, like I said earlier, on my way to a job, on my way to a place. But I've never seen it duplicated in the way that I designed it before. And I was like, bro, I really want to do this. My brain was like, this doesn't make economical sense. This is not supposed to occur. This doesn't make sense at all. And I said, you know what? I need to just do it. And I did it. It's out of my system. 27 episodes. It's technically more than 27 episodes. We'll get into that in a second. Real talk, 27 episodes done. The name of the show is What It Feels Like to Achieve Your Goals. And real talk, I want to run something that I ran in one of my last shows, which I think is a super important one, because Kobe said something and a whole bunch of people said something within the last one of these videos that I played. But no, I don't think I even want to play that. Let's just get to the point of this as to why I'm here. Before I even start the show, everybody, thank you for watching this show. And listen, to support my show, please subscribe and share to my YouTube channel and share it to somebody that needs this morning motivation. Second, I'm really trying to build up this show when I started for season 2. Please, if you want to donate to my show, please hit me up on Cash App at $KaleafWins. Yeah, I thank everybody for watching. Let's get to the topic at hand. And as we do get to the topic at hand, listen, it's been a rough season 1. You know what I'm saying? A rough season 1. And I learned a lot, and here's literally a few things that I learned, and I'm going to expound on it as we wait for our guests to come through on what I learned in creating a full first season of a YouTube show. And let's go. Here's what I learned after my first season. Number 1, you have to believe in something you can do, something that you've never seen done in your circle before. I repeat, when it comes to doing something that you've always wanted to do, you have to believe in something that you can do that you've never seen done in your circle at all. You've never seen it done in your circle at all. What does that mean? Sometimes the universe or God or whatever you believe in gives you a big dream. And it says, and he puts the burning desire in your heart, and you're like, oh, what am I gonna do? Now I wanna do that. But you've never seen it done in your family, in your friendship circle, or by people that you know. And then we always let the doubt really creep into us and say, yeah, I wanna do it, I can see it in my mind, I feel it in my gut, but I've never seen somebody in my circle do that before. I don't know anybody who's done that. You have to do the thing that you believe in, even if you've never seen it before. That's a big number 1 lesson that I learned with this whole journey of creating the Morning Motivation Show. Now, the original purpose as to why I created the Morning Motivation Show, because, I'm just going to be super transparent. I deal with mental health issues early in the morning. And then what do most of us do in the morning? We go run to our phone and we either get distracted, or we deal with the anxiety from going to a job that we dislike, or in the morning when our mind starts to jumpstart, I used to always go to the net, go to different apps, and I was like, yo, what can I watch? What can I watch to get my mind off of what's going on in my life? What can I watch to get my brain right? And then I didn't see an option. So I created the Morning Motivation Show as that alternative option, because I'm doing what I need for myself. So this initial desire to do this show started off of a desire to do something that I needed for me that I didn't see in the marketplace at all. But with that said, I had to do something I believe that I can do, even though nobody in my circle has ever done it before. And that's a huge, important factor. A lot of times we were given a vision. Our gut is telling us the vision. Every part of our being is telling us, do this. But we don't do it because we don't think it can be done, because we're looking at, well, if my friend or my family, if I don't know somebody who did this, how do you do it? And we stay stuck and stuck. Do you know what I'm saying? We stay stuck in that thought process, but you have to believe you can do something that you've never seen done in your circle. And that starts with that first step. Let me go to the next lesson I learned by doing a whole season of 27 episodes. And I think it's one of the most important lessons. Sometimes you have to do things by yourself because everybody can't go. Some things are just meant for you. When I started off this morning motivation show, I started off on TikTok. About 2 months straight, every morning I would go to my wife's car, to heat up her car. And my background is totally kaput right now. Look at that. That's really live. That's really live. My background is kaput. You know what I'm saying? But really look at this slide right here as I fix things up. Sometimes you have to do things by yourself because everybody can't go. Some things are not meant for you. Hold on a second. Give me a second. When I was heating up my wife's car, I was in the freezing cold. I think it was in the wintertime, end of last year. It was in the wintertime. And part of me is I'm making a lot of noise. I'm trying to fix this up. The end of last year, and my wife was pregnant. I was like, yo, I'm going to get in the car. I think we just found out she was pregnant. And I said, let me heat up the car. Let me get things going for you, your car. And I started this show literally heating up the car on TikTok Live. And I started the show just to get myself jump started in the morning. And then as I seen the comments roll through, I was just like, oh my God, I need this encouragement. Other people need this encouragement. Let me not be fake. Let me keep it real. Let me be transparent. Let's encourage other people and let's just all have a great day no matter what. That's literally the birth of the show. But getting to this point of what I learned in my show, sometimes you have to do things by yourself because everybody can't go. Some things are just meant for you. And again, there's no shot. As you'll roll, I think in the first 10 posted episodes on YouTube, because I had more of these morning motivation shows. I was with other people, in the show, and I was like, great, this is for a great season, And as the other people were on the show and they were really talking and doing their thing, I noticed like, wow, the person I'm here with, and I would encourage them, hey, you should start a show. And I was telling the other guy, hey, you should start your own thing, because I felt like we were going in different directions. But with that said, I used my social media expertise and told him, hey, you need to start your own show. And I gave them all the information I can because I believe that they had different directions. And that's one of the biggest lessons we have to learn. Just because people are going in different directions that you might not be going, bless them with all the information needed so that they can build up their platforms and then do your platform, because it wasn't the direction that I wanted my show to be in. But it was really, really a tough decision. But then again, it wasn't, because this show started off with me heating up my wife's car in the morning in the freezing cold. You know what I'm saying? This started off with us heating up the car, and me just trying to get motivated. And I was like, yo, this is the vision that I had for me and what I want to do. Everybody give me a second real quick while I fix this. Hey, everybody, what's going on? What's good? Let me fix my background. Sorry about that. We are live, and I'm not ashamed. We are live, and I'm not ashamed. Let me get this up here. But real talk, pardon me. Listen, this is one of the things that I'm going to change for the Morning Motivation Show Season 2. I'm going to get a better green screen. Because if that green screen did not just fall and show my messy couch behind, real talk, listen, my show is live and direct from New York City. Things happen, but I want to touch on this point. One of the important things that I learned about making 27 episodes, actually I made more than 27 episodes. I just decided to start posting, I was like, oh, maybe I can just post on YouTube when I'm with my friends and stuff like that. And I started at the point that I had other people on. But before that, I was literally freezing in the car with this Snuggie on. That's why I wear the Snuggie on for the Morning Motivation Show. Just getting people motivated and hearing great stories in like October, November, December, and then deciding to post on the Morning Motivation Show around December when I had other people on there. But there are technically more than 27 episodes. Technically, I used to do this every morning, 5 days a week. So there's probably like 40 episodes. But the thing was, and mind you, this ain't even on the slide. That's the other lesson I learned. A lot of times you start moving towards your dreams, real talk, and you start saying, oh, this is what I want to do. And then your gut tells you, yo, do this, go to YouTube or make it bigger, make it better. And then you're just like, no, I think I'm just going to be comfortable and just post one time. And no, that's what happened. I limited myself by the fear of me not stretching out. Like, look what happened just now. My whole green screen just fell middle of the stream. Show my messed up couch. I like imperfection because it shows you what's real and what's not. And we're dealing with an internet of a bunch of imperfection. We're dealing with an internet where everybody's trying to act like they have their stuff together. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not perfect. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have my stuff together. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I stream this show for a season every Mondays and Wednesdays and some Tuesdays, 8 a.m. Eastern time every morning in my living room. This is not perfection. This is passion. There's a difference. There's a difference. There's a super duper difference. But this lesson right here and what I've learned from this season of doing a season of 27 plus episodes, sometimes you have to do things by yourself because everybody can't go. Some things are meant just for you. Do you understand? Just for you. The vision is yours. You're supposed to do something, do it by yourself. You don't need everybody. Listen, your gut will tell you when you need extra people. Like right now for my season 2, I'm going to need a video producer because I do all the video production on this show. I've learned a lot of things. And I'm going to have a separate video on my YouTube channel saying that the 10 things that I learned. I'm just giving you a few things that I've learned from running my first full season of a YouTube show, but real talk, I need a new green screen wall because I'm not dealing with these portable green screens that fall in the middle of the stream and you're like, Dad, I didn't even make my couch up. You know what I'm saying? But I don't care. I like imperfection because it shows y'all what's real. And that's the biggest lesson ever. Sometimes you have to do things by yourself because everybody can't go. Some things are meant for just you. And literally, when I brought on 2 hosts, I was like, oh, this would be great. It's 3 people. We can share the load and stuff like that. I just feel like, the energy and the direction y'all going, it wasn't the original perspective of what I'm trying to create this show to be, but it's not a shot. Hey, one host, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. Great. Help them every way they can. And then the other host, I'm like, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. And then they hopefully are prosperous in their situations because this vision of this show, for me, is to help people. We ain't acting like we know everything. This show is just to help people. That's not a shot. That's just a fact. To give people a quick pick-me-up in the morning and say, hey, maybe I can do it if this guy right here with a Snuggie on and a falling green screen can do it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I can feel encouraged to do what I want to do. But yeah, real talk, I got my homie Eric E coming through, hopefully shortly. Let me take my little sip. But that's one of the major lessons, and I think this is technically the most important lesson. But again, I'm going to have a full YouTube video about this entire process. I have my show up on another date. But let me talk serious. The reason that I ended the season 1 the way that I ended, and again, the reason I ended the season 1 the way that I ended, part of me, I need a brand new screen because that's one of the investments that I'm going to get, a brand new green screen on my season 2. The reason I ended on this season 1 is because I'm about to have a kid in 2 weeks. I'm about to have a kid in 2 weeks. I was like, how much can I live stream before my newborn son? I'm going to be a first-time father of a son. Thank you. I'm about to have a son. First son ever, brand new ball game. I was like, I'm going to stream up until the delivery date. I'm going to stream up until that date. And this why I was like, you know what? This is the last episode of this season 1. This is the last episode, and that's how we're going to keep it. It's my last episode of the season. I'll restart. So the show will be restarting probably in a few months after I get settled in with my newborn and things of that nature. But that's why I had to end it to season 1. But before I get into anything, everybody, I want everybody to give a big round of applause to the host of the Infinite Talks podcast on Spotify. It's the homie Eric Castillo in the freaking house. What's goody? Eric Castillo in the house. Your man got the fresh polo shirt in the morning, you heard? Got the suns out, guns out, you know what I'm saying? Look, every time I see E, I'm like, Dad, I need a haircut, brother, because his hair be looking action figure fresh. You know what I'm saying? Your hair be looking action figure fresh.
Figure fresh, I know that. I'm gonna coin that phrase, my bro.
Word, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing amazing. It's been a busy morning, bro. So I apologize for the tardiness, but I told you I was gonna be in and I made it, bro. Because the morning motivation is something I look forward to all every morning, bro. Every Monday through Wednesday. If I don't catch it, I go back Thursday or Friday, bro, and I gotta catch it, bro. So thank you for having me on, man. So
No
happy to be
problem,
here.
man. Listen, I appreciate it, and I don't know if you're gonna watch the playback of this. Everything started falling apart, literally. Like I was talking, green screen fell. Show my dirty couch in the back. I was talking, everything just went bonkers. My chair just fell in the middle of it, and it fell down. Like I'm telling you, when you literally want to get a message out, it seems like their forces, just energy trying to discourage you to say, yo, don't do it right. You're going to look messed up. And when the green screen fell, literally, and my couch in the background looked a mess, I was like, ladies and gentlemen, this is live. I like imperfection, bro. I just like, bro, I don't care what it looks like. I'm a grown man in the Snuggie. Let's talk about that.
Oh
I'm a grown man
man.
in dire need of a shape up. Let's talk about that. I'm a grown man, you know what I'm saying? Like the
Hey,
whole green screen fell, and I'm just like, oh, you think that negative forces? You think you going to stop this? You think you're going to
no,
stop
man.
the two frequency brothers up in here? You know what I'm
The
saying?
two
The
frequency
frequency
brothers,
brothers
bro.
up in here. You heard? But
That's what
I
we're
want
talking about.
before we move further,
Yes,
give
sir.
everybody a great because I can do. You know me. I can talk about your podcast. I was a guest in the
Yes, sir.
podcast, and it's great. Let everybody know about the Infinite Talks podcast, and then also what helped you, what urged you to start it? Because I shared early on what urged me to start the Morning Motivation Show. Go ahead, brother.
Yo, so man, first of all, thank you again to having me on and really share my journey. The Infinite Talks podcast, bro, was started like in 2018 because I had an urge to share some energy that I had within me, some frequency. And I still didn't have the name Infinite Talks podcast, but I had the idea that I needed to podcast and because I don't even know what podcasting was at that point. But I was starting to like get an idea because I was starting to listen to podcasts. I had given up listening to music, really like just I wanted to focus on myself and really like become a, more of a, starting to expand on my mind and my spirituality and all that stuff. So I started tuning into to podcasts at that point. I was like, all right, in 2018, early part of 2018, 2016, around that era. And then I was like, you know what? I can do this, man. Like I hear everybody doing podcasts. Let me figure this out. And I think Gary Vee came out that year. And he's like, bro, there's this app right there called Anchor. Go try it out if you want to do a podcast. I was like, bro, let me go try it out. So I went on Anchor and I got it in. Just try to figure out, play with it. And my whole spiel was to like send positive information out there, because I know that I did a lot of homework on myself, and I know if I could do it and reach a point in my life where I said, you know what, I think I'm doing way better than I was doing before, like mentally, spiritually, physically, brain work, heart work, not hard work, heart work, the heart, and then just spiritual work, man, just like you know trying to figure things out on my own. It's like if I did this algorithm and I've created this avenue for some type of success. It might not be monetary success, physical success, but it might be something that you can be good with yourself, and be able to use that to avenue to take you to a higher place, higher achievements in every single aspect of your life. So I was like, you know what? Infinite Talks podcast and be the name of the podcast because first of all, like you, my brother, I like to talk a lot. Infinite Talks, bro.
Yes,
And
we
you
do.
heard.
You know what I'm saying?
I like to talk a lot. So I talk a lot when I talk to people around the street, like when I'm walking in the grocery market, like or in the neighborhoods or whenever I'm at work, I can talk, bro. I have this ability to have a great conversation with somebody I just met or someone that I'm have been like my brothers, my cousins, my friends. They're like, man, we have great conversations, so I was like, I need to record these, bro. So at first it was a journey of me trying to figure out how to put it all together, and then eventually I started having a guest, and now like 2023, man, I was like, I just need to take it to another level. So I've been reaching out to people like you that are in the same frequency, same mindset, people that are like, what, we're starting from the ground up, but we have an idea where we want to go, where we want to be, and who we want people to like out there to like get an impact from what we're saying, bro. Because if we don't do it, and we're missing out on this opportunity, right? And this window of opportunity right now. I feel like, people are gonna miss out, man. And I feel like, they should be able to, capture something that's gonna
Mm-hmm.
send them to the next level. And it might be on a business side, or like you always talk about, like, hey, you have something that's a dream of yours. Go reach for it, plan for it, have a vision for it. Start. Don't just, stagnate and get like stuck and not do anything from it. So I've been practicing a lot of that, man, on myself as well. A lot of the tips you share in your show, and that's a lot of the stuff that I've been reading and like listening to, and just trying to make a great product, because I know that what we have to share, this positive frequency, can impact somebody, and
Mm-hmm.
be able to share that frequency with somebody else, man. So that's the whole Infinite Talks podcast, bro. Just sharing positivity, inspiration, motivation, mind, business, spirit, body, and all those four factors coming together to make the best you, bro, the best version of yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
it's always an ongoing process, because I'm going through it still. It's everyday thing. Like, man, I've made mistakes in the last few weeks. I'm like, bro,
Trust me, I
why
know.
am I making these mistakes? But it's okay. You don't have to be hard on yourself. You just gotta be all right. I cannot get stuck in that moment. I need to move forward. I need to make peace with myself and my family, and let's move on forward so that we can get to the next level as a family, as an individual, as a business, as an organization. As a whole mental state, body
Mm-hmm.
state, spiritual state. All of those components put it together, bro. And that's what the Infinite Talks podcast is all about, brother.
But listen. Everybody go to Spotify
Yeah.
right now. Follow, subscribe, support the Infinite Talks podcast. And the thing I like about this podcast, when you go to Spotify, you can see the video. I love it. I love
Yes,
it.
sir.
That was a major thing that app put together. Major thing, the video. And listen. I'll just say two things. Don't laugh. Number one, the reason that you and I had a gift, have the gift of gab, is because we grew up good with the ladies back in the days. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He said we can walk up to just anybody. Yeah, I know what that feels like, brother. I know what that
Yeah.
feels like. We are a problem in these single streets, but I'm not single anymore. But you know the vibes. Like I'm saying.
For real, brother. For real, brother.
You
Man.
don't know because you don't ask. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be so real with you. That is literally how my confidence was built. Don't laugh, me, everybody. I used to be
Yeah.
deathly afraid of extremely attractive women when I was like 11 or 10. And my friends forced me in Brooklyn. It was like, hey, if we can't be the only ones getting phone numbers. You looking like a lame. And I was like, how do I get past this goal? And sometimes God, would just say, you know what? This is your first test for your life and to build your confidence. And they would force me to stand in front of a train station when school let out and talk to every super attractive lady. And I dealt with rejection. And then it was just like ripping away the layers of my perception of what I can and can't do. Just doing that repeatedly. Going in the store, crying, wiping my tears, and doing it again. It was like, if you really want to achieve the goal to start a conversation with an extremely attractive woman, I think that's one of the most top 3 scariest things other than public speaking for guys. For ladies, if you don't know. And it was like, I was like 11, 10. I was talking to grown women. You know what I'm saying? Like adult. It's like, boy, get yourself out of here. But I was like, wow. When I stayed still looking at my friends doing it, I was caking up doubt and what I can't do. But when I went there and got my feelings hurt repeatedly, it started pulling back the layers of my perception on what can be possible, or the doubts. I was like, oh, when I learned this real young. Oh, action cures doubtfulness. Action cures doubtfulness. Yes, you're going to be scared anytime you do something new. Now, people may look at this as insane. Oh, my God, look at this Casanova in a Snuggie. No. But literally, that was my first step to just learning about, the mindset, peak performance stuff, and then getting your mindset out of a mindset. Because you and I both share, you might grow up in a horrible neighborhood, but you just got to keep your internal not reflecting your external. And then as you go for what you want to go, it's like, I had to rip away the fears. And one thing I like the way that you said, I just got into it and figured it out. That right there. And again, I was telling people in the beginning of the show, and I run back the slides, some of the things that I learned from doing my first season, my 27 episodes of this Morning Motivation show. I was like, I just had to figure it out. I bought the cheapest green screen on planet Earth, and it just fell. It just fell in the street. You know what I'm saying? But I figured it out. I was tired. I was on TikTok primarily, and I was like, "This is great," but I got tired of feeling like I was stuck in a box, like stuck in, because they didn't give me the features to go this way. They gave me the features to go this way, and I was like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm talking like this. Hey guys, good morning. How are you? And now just on YouTube, I'm just like,
Hey, I have my space now.
yeah, I have my space now, bro. And I was like, I needed to expound my boundaries. But when you said I just got in there and I figured it out, because you focus more on your desire to see what's in your heart come to fruition versus your doubts. And again, you and I, we probably grew up reading the same thing. I used to read Mad Tony Robbins books as a kid. I used to read a bunch of Jim Rohn. If y'all don't know, please look them up. Dale Carnegie, Norman Vincent Peale, and I was kept on reading, and it felt like these people were distant. Sometimes, like the concepts are true, but they felt like they're distant. But as I spoke to you on your podcast for your episode, the reason that we have this fire in us is because there are people that look just like us who needed to hear it in the way that we deliver it. So it doesn't feel distant, bro.
Yeah, man. Like you were saying, being scared to talk to somebody. I was very shy, like shy kid. Like now you see me, my personality. I was a very shy kid, bro. And so back in college, I had a course for speech, right, giving a speech and stuff like that. And I remember one of my first experiences of giving a speech was a horrible one. Imagine going up to a class of 20 people and just freaking out, having an anxiety attack, a panic attack, not being able to talk. Words are mumbling, stuttering. I'm shaking. Everybody's like creeping out. I'm like, what the hell's going on with this guy? And I had to walk out of the classroom, bro. I was so embarrassed. After that day, I was like, I cannot function like this, man. I need to work on myself. I cannot go up into front of like 15, 20 people and not be able to talk to them. So I went to the library, man. That whole week after, I started reading books on like self mastery. How to become confident speaker, how to, just read different types of topics. And I started reading, and I was not a great reader,
Mm-hmm.
not a great reader, man. I had a hard time reading when I was younger, and not because I couldn't read the script. I just couldn't understand like a lot of the concepts that were coming in. I was like blocking everything out because my mind was somewhere else. Like I was reading, but I wasn't reading. I had to read that 4 or 5 times. I had a
Me
hard
too. I
yeah,
had bad ADHD, but continue.
yeah. So when I started doing the work, man, and reading these books and like working really hard to understand these concepts of confidence and using your voice, projecting your voice, and learning how to read the crowd, and like all these little things that I remember when I would listen to hip hop, back in the days, these MCs had all these skills. I was like, wow, a lot of these attributes that I'm reading here, go back to a lot of the stuff that I listened to when I was a younger kid, and now I'm starting to understand how these rappers and how these artists would have the crowd going in their direction, and be able to control the crowd. So I started reading that, and then, I eventually that class I didn't do that well. Like I finished the class, but I never really went back like 100% confident. But from that point on, I know that throughout my life I was gonna improve on that. I knew that that was something that I had to work on. It's like, all right, I'm not gonna be running away from it. I'm actually gonna work through that fear, and I think going through that fear has helped me in a lot of other ways because now I can talk in front of 500 people and be like, they know what's up.
Mm-hmm.
I talk like not even like a month ago. I talked in front of 385, 400 people, and it was in Spanish too, bro. It was in Spanish, and it was a presentation, right? And from a company that I work for, and I do the presentation, and I'm owning the crowd. Like I'm pausing, I'm looking at everyone, I'm taking my time, I'm being confident, reading the presentation, using my personal stories of how it relates to what I'm talking about, and the crowd is like, wow, like they're loving the information. And after the presentation, like tons of people came over to me, like, hey, I want to learn more about what this, about that, la la la. And I was like, I felt really good, man. It came full circle because I knew that many years ago, the Eric of before wouldn't be able to complete that task. And because if you don't think you can do it, then there's no way you're gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
And work on it, and like, you know what? It's like you have the green screen in the back. You can't care nothing about that. What you need
Mm-hmm.
to work is like, I need to go forward, and I need to accomplish this task, and I have to figure it out because nobody's gonna do the homework for me. And if I depend on people to do the homework for me, it's not gonna be as the same value. So when I use other people's, I guess, when that they try to put it on you, and you try to like, all right, they did the homework for me, it's not gonna be the best, because when you express it or it comes out of you, it's not gonna be 100% legit. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
you have to do your own work, like you working on yourself, background, the Khalif, Win show, the morning motivation, the hip hop beats. You're putting it all together, and you're like, all right. But now I can see that you're very intentional and you're very strategic. And if you look at all the episodes you've done, 27 episodes, bro, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
27 episodes is a great number because it's 27. 27 is a unique, special number. You add 2 plus 7 equals 9. 369 frequency. It keeps
Mm.
on going. So that way you're going to take a pause, but it's going to be a physical pause. It's not going to be on the other scope of things. YouTube is going to be running your algorithm, TikTok, all the other platforms. And that 369, 27 episodes are going to be fluid, and they're
Mm-hmm.
reaching people in the masses, because people like me and other people out there that are supporting you, bro, we're all going to be sharing your content because we know it's important. You are a great presenter. You present the idea, you have the points, the bullet points. I love that, bro. That's something that, man, a lot of people can benefit from. A lot of these episodes, they can go back, rewind, pause, write down in notes,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes back for you. Like, you're presenting the homework. You've done the homework, but now I have to go. We have to go and be like, all right, Khalif shared a lot of good points there. Now, what do I have to do for my part to actually manifest all these ideas that I have within? And if we don't do that, then you're not gonna, make anything come to life, into existence, because you're not doing the extra stuff. For me, it's hard work, bro, because I have an 8 to 5, bro. Like you had to quit the 8 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I still at the 8 to 5. I'm planning towards that goal of mine where, like, I don't depend on 8 to 5, but I actually love what I do. So that's the conflict with me. But I love what I do, but I know that with the same mindset that I have right now, I can do more with what I got and be able to do the things that I love, which is like podcasting, business, entrepreneurship. I have a couple of businesses that I run that are tiny businesses. They're not big, but I know that from there I can build up and, create some bigger platforms of businesses, right? So I'm putting all these together, and I'm still doing the homework on a lot of these things, because that I know those are weaknesses of mine, and I cannot just let them go. I know that I need to really tackle those issues, because I know that if I don't really work on it, I know I'm not gonna propel myself to the next level.
No, you listen, brother. You like when you talk, like, again, because listen, I got a short attention span, and if somebody's not saying anything of value, I tell people, I'm like, bro, you lost me. I'm that blunt. I'm like, you lost me. But you're saying so much great stuff because, mind you, growing up with ADHD, when my mother used to put me in therapy, like, therapist she used to say, you have to picture it like a movie and a cartoon in your brain so you can retain the information. You know what I'm saying? So when you're talking, I'm seeing exactly what you're saying.
I
I'm
love that, bro.
seeing your passion. I see you spoke in Spanish, and I'm like, woo, that's a feat for me. Because, listen, I'm Puerto Rican and black, but I failed Spanish in college. And then my professor was like, how you Spanish and fail Spanish? It happened, brother. I'm not speaking in front of a class in Spanish. I'm going to sound like a super gringo up in here. Super gringo. But to do a full presentation in Spanish, and you know how our cultures get. If you mess up a pronunciation of the word, mira la gringo aquí. You know what I'm saying? Look at this big old fronting American. But yeah, like, and I appreciate what you said. I'll be honest with you. Every panel I write is because I deal with a lot of anxiety. And writing and my cell phone, I know you probably go through this, or everybody's watching this go through this. I have to write out how I feel a lot. That's literally where the panels come from. The reason I focus on what's the solution to get out of this when I write the panels of the show, it's literally solutions for myself to stop catching an anxiety attack. So literally, something in pain in my own personal life became a benefit. Like, because I literally, like, how can I figure it out? Because I'm a big person. If I see it on paper, then I can see, okay, here's what the problem is. There's a lot of times our internal turmoil, our anxiety, we overthink, and I'm a chronic overthinker. If you know any chronic overthinkers, clap your hands. I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I really had to just write the solution. I was like, yo, Khalif, I just had this conversation with my daughter last night. She's taking state exams and schools are putting pressure on all the 8-year-olds. You got to pass it. And she was crying. I was like, little girl, you can only do what you can control. Right? Let's write down the fears. What are the fears? And then we went one by one per fear. And I was like, wow, I'm teaching my 8-year-old to do an exercise that I do for myself, but that exercise, I just wanted to create the show for because I didn't see an alternative. And you said something that was very key in your conversation, and I want everybody to not miss. You said, and I'm paraphrasing, so, yeah, I can get help from somebody, but it won't be uniquely me. It won't be uniquely my type of time. It won't be 100% me. And that's what a lot of people miss. If you got a passion, some people are like, hey, I want to do a YouTube show, and big up to Raheem the Rabbit that's on the check-in. But I want, you know what I'm saying? He's like, I want to do a YouTube show. I want to do this. I like what Eric Castillo's doing. I like what KaleafWins is doing. But here's the thing, create your YouTube show, but it's got to be you. I'll give you something real transparent that I should not be saying on the internet, but I don't care. I used to tell my old co-hosts, I'm like, yo, bro, I don't even care if you take all my idea. You can never be me. I said, bro, you can steal a product, but you can't steal a factory. And this is not a shot. It's just real. Like, and I love them too from afar. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, go do y'all thing. Here, I'll design it. I'll help it. I help you, and I help you. But and one of them was my cousin. I told him, I said, bro, I said, even if I tell you how to do everything, it's still not going to be you, bro.
Yeah, man. The sauce is different. The sauce is different. Everybody's recipe is unique, and it's welcomed. Like you might cook the same meal, but for you it's gonna be way different because your just style is different, you know. So everybody's recipe is gonna be a little bit different. But I think that's great, man. I think we should encourage that. Like, you know what? Here's the algorithm. Here's a formula. Take it and expand on that. Maybe you're gonna be the next great something, you know. And that can go in any fashion of life. It can be, you know, podcasting, business, school, something that you're really talented on. You know, like a profession that takes a lot of skill and a lot of school education. But all of these avenues, somebody's gonna give you some inspiration. It might be from a talk. It might be from a video you see. It might be from watching somebody talk with somebody else. Like, wow, look at that. You know, kind of like me, you and I having this conversation right now. I'm pretty sure somebody's like, man, these guys are spitting so much truth, so much fire right now that it's built a little fire in me that I can actually go out there and maximize my opportunities. Look at what is out there. Look at what doors are out there for me. Go through the doors that are the most comfortable for me. And sometimes you got to go through the doors that are least comfortable for you to get to that door that's comfortable for you. But you have to go through these doors and understand that the life is very binary. You're going to get opportunities in this life that are going to be like yes or no. And if it's a no, then you take a different route. No, no, yes, no. So these yes and no's make a big impact on what you manifest in your life, bro. And it's weird because people are like, nah, I just because I went this way today doesn't change my life. I'm like, bro, no, it does. A couple of weeks ago, actually a month ago, I was at a stop sign and I got wrecked on, bro. And I was following my every single decision making was right. You know, I paused, I took my time, but the car that hit me didn't brake, didn't do anything. And I'm gonna relate it back to what it like as an analogy, right?
Wow.
I was where it's supposed to be, but the other person didn't, take the time to stop or like look for oncoming traffic, and they hit me, bro. You know, so they messed up my car, total loss.
Wow.
Thank God I'm alive and I'm all right. But where you are, where you have to be, and those situations. I mean, to me, I see, okay, all right. Why was it in that situation? I did everything perfect, but now I'm in a place where I don't have a vehicle. You know, now I have to lose time to work, la la la. But now, how am I going to maximize that opportunity? It's an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Opportunity. Every time I see something negative, I see, okay, what's the opportunity out of this? I know it's hard because sometimes, like, hey, we don't have insurance or la la la. But anywhere you go in the world, you don't know exactly what's gonna go. But if you know what you're gonna do next, and you maximize it on your decision making, you're always gonna come out on top because you're gonna figure out what's the next door that's there. Even if it's a fearful door. Like for me, I was like, man, now I gotta go through attorneys. Now I have to go through that. But if I don't tackle those situations, it's just gonna slack, and I'm gonna be in a really bad mindset instead of being like, oh, okay, I got this figured out. No, it's a hard working place, but I know that if I face all these fearful doors, it's gonna take me to the next level. You know, and and in life, that's the way it is, bro. Like you make the every single decision you make is gonna make a big impact on how you lead. And I like the way that you've put it all this together, man. Like for you, you're like, you know what? You made a decision that by 27 or a certain week, you're like, I'm gonna pause. But I know why, because congratulations, you're gonna have a son, man. You're gonna be a father. Who can put that on their plate, bro, and be like, I made that happen.
Mm-hmm.
You open all those doors that, hey, I quit the 9 to 5. I went all in on my show. That door is a man, like, are you really gonna go through that door? And you're like, yes, I'm going through that door. And you've gone through it, bro. The first time I saw you on TikTok, I was like, this guy is amazing, bro. Cannot believe I
Thank
met
you.
this person. Not only met this person, but I found out who you were on TikTok. And I was like, damn, this is what I like to hear too, man. Like I like to hear stuff like this in the morning. Somebody who motivates you, keeps it pumping, keeps it vibing, and sharing good information, good frequencies. And then at the same time, I'm like, that really was a morning motivation. Like I listened to you on the way to work, and like, all right, I need to get a hold of this guy. Who is this guy? And it's like, okay, it's Kaleaf. Khalid, what's up? Let's do a show. He's like, yes, let's go, man. I'm like, man, that's amazing.
I had
It's
so much
always
fun in your show because I was on a 2-liter Pepsi. I was lit. I was on Super Pepsi that night too. It was everybody go subscribe to Infinite Talks podcast. He has a lot of other great episodes. And the things I like, I'm sorry to cut you off, but the things I like about his podcast is that I need to hear stories from people that he speaks to because somebody else's success story leaves clues that'll help me on my journey. That's what I like about his podcast. There's a lot of people who have podcasts, and great, do your thing. But if the podcast doesn't give me value when I listen to it, then I can't listen to it. And the thing about Eric's podcast, everybody subscribe now to Infinite Talks podcast, is that you can hear somebody's story. And newsflash, here's the cheat code, guys. The reason I like hearing other people's story because I've been blessed with the ability to see clues. Oh, word that you went through this. Oh, word. Oh, I can add it to me. I can add it to me. I call it a growth podcast. Pause it for the New Yorkers out there saying growth. I call it a personal internal pause. That's a super pause within itself. Anyway, I call it a great success finder blueprint podcast to me. It's a blueprint because everybody has their blueprint. And when you listen to Infinite Talks podcast, you understand what I'm saying. There's no tension, there's no pretense. It's just raw, organic facts through hearing personal journeys. Like literally personal journeys. And we're going to get into his conference because I'm speaking that into the universe. Every time we talk, I'm going to talk up the conference. But you know what I'm saying? But big shout out to Melly Schumer on the check-in. Big shout out to Raheem the Rabbit. Melly Schumer, this show today is for you because you need to start a show. Melly Schumer on the check-in. This is a guy that I know named Melly, from Philly. He needs to start a show, and I've been telling him for like over a year, but everybody has their season, Melly. Not a shot at you. Everybody has their season. But listen to what Eric is saying. Listen to his Infinite Talks podcast. Listen to what he said, what he just said right now. Listen to what he said, what he just said. Grammar, Khalif. It's too early. Yo quiere café right now. You know what I'm saying? I need stronger coffee. I'm 6'6". I'm built like a security guard. I need more than 1 cup in the morning. I'm sorry. My caffeine intake, if you know, it's a Spanish thing. You know the vibes. Anyway, but listen to what Eric just said right now. He's just like, that whole car crash analogy, I was like, ooh, preach, pastor. He was like, yo, I was doing what I was supposed to do. And then something just crashes in me. And then you said, I got to go through attorneys, I got to go through the lawyers, and I got to do all this. But if I don't do it, then I'll just paraphrase, the problem is just going to fester.
Yeah.
It's just going to fester. But how many, and again, our motivation, me and Eric's motivation comes from, we've had ideas and we didn't put it to fruition. And we're like, wow, I could have did that. And we might have seen other people make the ideas happen because the universe works that way. It'll say, everybody, here's your vision. And then half of the people don't go for it. And the other half that go for it. And I know about me personally, I spent years in depression and regret, like literally not trying anything. And my life felt stuck. And I needed people like Eric. Like, again, here's the thing that Eric said. He says, and then I found Khalif on TikTok and he's talking what I'm talking, but we wouldn't have met if I didn't pursue my goals. We wouldn't have met if I didn't really go for it, unprepared. Go fly the plane while you're building it. I was saying to myself even before I was on TikTok, I was in my wife's car freezing, heating it up in the morning. I was like, I need to go on TikTok. I was like, no, I need a camera. No, I need a green screen. No. And then my show just started off, I'm like, yo, TikTok got an effect where it can do your background. And then I said, forget the background. I'm be in my car telling people, hey, I'm freezing, but here's your motivation for the morning. But I would not have met Eric or opened opportunities. Ooh, bar, here we go. For everybody watching, you would not meet new opportunities, new great people. You never know who you meet in the net in a positive way if you don't open yourself up and be yourself 100%. Because one thing that the internet specializes in that I'm totally against, everybody that's on the net thinking about starting this show, stop capping and manufacturing a false reality as if you got it all like that. The more imperfect you show yourself, I'm not saying being unprofessional, I'm saying the more real you be yourself, the authentic, organic, put out organic energy, get organic back. Put out fake bot energy, you will have no impact. Real talk. Me and Eric would have not, he's on the other side of the nation. No, let me do this right. I'm on the other side of the nation. You know what I'm saying? I'm all the way up north. He's, in Texas. I hope it wouldn't mind me blowing you up like that. You know what I'm saying?
All right, man.
And I can't wait to go to Texas because I want to eat a bunch of that magnificent food down there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. We couldn't have met if I didn't open myself up, if I didn't take that risk, if I didn't say, oh, my God, you're not perfect. Listen to how we beat ourselves up before we start to do what our passion wants us to do. Think about that, Eric. What were the thoughts that were attacking your mind before you started your podcast and that you just pushed back? And then if you look at those thoughts, you think about, bro, I let that stop me for so long. I think about that a lot.
Yeah, man. I think for me it was just a lot of self-doubt, like not being I was so comfortable. No, it's not even self-doubt. It's more like I was comfortable. And it's like, I'm comfortable here. But my mind and my body's like, bro, you can do more, man. Like, why are you just stuck here? You have so many opportunities. And I think it all started when I started reading and working on myself, man. Like, okay, yes, I'm doing all this work. Now what? I have all this information. Now what? And then I was like, I've always wanted to be somewhat radio DJ in the music business, something like that. It's like when I found out about podcasts, like, all right, I know what direction to go. I know my North Star. I just don't know how to get there, but I got to start somewhere, And the first time when I first started the show was called the Eric Seed Movement, and it started off by a pure coincidence that day. I had my phone. And I was like, I have nobody to interview, but I'm gonna interview somebody today. So one of my cousins, he's an artist, he's a hip hop MC. I was like, all right, I'm gonna talk to Jay Zilla, as his name, and we're talking to Jay, and it was an 8-minute or 10-minute video on YouTube. It's on YouTube. And I was like, man, I like that. I put music in the background. I edited the video. The interview was raw. It was still like very, very structured because I was asking a couple of questions, and we stayed in a conversation. And I like that, bro. It's like I got like 120 views. This is like many, many years ago, probably like 2015, 2016. I was like, all right, man, I think I know where I need to go. I just need to figure out how to get all this going. But even in those situations, I felt like I could have done more, but I just know I was going in the right direction. Even if I was jogging, taking steps every day, like as in a metaphor, right? I was walking to my North Star. Sometimes I was running, sometimes I was walking, but I never stopped going there, that way. So now I'm here closer to my North Star, but my vision is not where I wanted to be because I need to work more on the actual writing it down more focused, so that when it comes into fruition, I know exactly what needed to be there. I feel like that's some of the homework that I need to do now. Okay, I've done a lot of the running and jogging. Now I need to sit down and actually build something there. Okay, now I'm closer to my North Star, and I need to build something here now, so I can get further up there. You know what I mean?
And for the tips of the people, I'll say this: me having a short attention span, my mind is like having 20 TVs on. And the reason I can't sit down and write, here's the best way that helps me to sit down and write. Through my day, if I'm walking around, Everybody use your voice recorder in your phone. Real talk. I email every random thought. My daughter thinks I'm weird. We can be in Target. I'm like, hold on a second. Email. So at the end of every day, I'm sitting on like 12 emails. And then I write out the emails. And then before I go to sleep, I have to write to get my mind right. And now I write crazy because I used to be a big MC in terms of big in my mind, meaning making a whole bunch of songs. And I was like, if I can write 16 bars, why can't I write 16 points?
Exactly.
I was like, if I can write 16 bars about dissing somebody or bagging something or doing something crazy, why can't I write out my thoughts? So for all the people, if you're on the road, if you're at work, if you don't have a pen and paper, record yourself on your phone and email it to yourself, or create a brand new email address and just email it to yourself, because that's what works for my short attention span self. I literally record and I email. So at the end of every day, you can write. I'll say to tell to people all the time. I used to be around a lot of rappers as I was a producer for like a minute, and I stopped in 2019. But I've restarted recently. Got a new EP drop on my homeboy. Another conversation, another day. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I'm most definitely gonna let you hear that when we launch that. The thing is, when I was around a lot of artists say, "Nah, man, I don't write. I freestyle. I don't like reading." I was like, "You don't like reading?" I said, "Let me go to your Instagram page." And I said, "Who you follow? Why you like following them?" "Nah, because she look mad good." "Nah, because they be saying facts." Bro, you read every day, because if you read a caption, that's a line in a sentence out of a book. So how many books you be reading every day? But one thing that he said about walking towards your North Star, and this is super important, because again, you be saying some stuff, Eric, like, and I'm like, Dag, did he understand what he just said? Like, sometimes you'll talk and I'm like, that's a show. Yep, walking towards your North Star. That's his show. That's another episode you should do. That's it is. And me and Eric gonna have a meeting after this, or one day this week. Well, it's definitely to talk. Pardon me, Eric, because I messed up my opportunity the last time, but I'm most definitely gonna make it up. But I will say to everybody, listen to what he said. Walking towards his North Star. He's not there yet, but he's walking. And when he said that, this reflected in my mind. What I say to everybody all the time: even if this show fails, I still win. Because what is failure? Because I'll be honest, there is no failure. I knocked out all these episodes. Even if I went back to a job and let's say, because I'm probably gonna most definitely look for work and stuff like that, because obviously I got a son, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? Like, but I'm gonna smile and be like, yo, I did these episodes. I did my thing. And here's the second thing: the children always watch. So for those people who are like, yo, I'm going to go for this, I'm not going to be big, stop doubting yourself. Just do it just to do it. That's what Eric just said. He said, I just did it. And I'm walking towards my North Star. I'm not where I want to be. But a lot of, and again, when you said that, I was like, bro, but look at how much you accomplished, Eric. Then I went, but Kaleaf, look at how much you accomplished. And I saw a video yesterday about artists, and they said the reason that a lot of artists, like music artists, fail is because they just don't try and they don't even put in the effort, and they just give up. And then I looked at the Nipsey interview, and they said, well, Nipsey, about your success, how'd you become so successful? He says, because I just didn't quit. It's just that simple. And they were like, what do you mean? He says, I've been through every emotion: failure, disappointment, things messing up, things not going right. But the only reason I am where I am because I just didn't quit. And a lot of times we have been trained to quit, especially in our culture. We've been trained to be pessimists. We've been trained to listen to the doubts that our families give us. We've been trained to be just so doubtful. We've been trained to allow society to dictate us. But listen to what Eric says. I'm walking towards my North Star. I am closer. I'm not where I want to be. But I bet you when E looks back and be like, what have I done? And I always encourage everybody, whether you're an artist, whether you're a producer, or whether you're a podcaster or a showrunner, every time you feel doubtful, scroll down your past posted work. At least you posted it. At least you posted it. Yeah. Like, I've been telling people in my life, because again, it sucks when you're a content creator and you're around people who don't understand content creator or podcast. Nothing is the worst. We're like, yo, I just did my show and this happened. Oh, that's nice. And they don't know how much of a big deal that is. Yo, this person shared my post and they know this person. Oh, that's nice. And it's like, I tell people all the time, get away from these negative source, non-enthusiastic, low energy people in your life. Not get away in terms of throw them away because nobody's refuse, But you got to get away from frequencies that is not encouraging. And that's why I like talking to Eric, because when he talks, he sharpens the iron mentally in my mind and my spirit. When I talk, I share some information with them. You have to get iron sharpening iron. And me and Eric have this in common, like any content creator, any podcaster have this in common. When you are really have a vision and a dream, unfortunately, a lot of doubters come to you like moths to a flame. They try to figure out, why is Eric so enthusiastic? Why is he so positive? And then they become jealous and all that stuff. But Eric has a track record. Look at the show. Go to Spotify. Look at the interviews. Look at who he talks to. Again, organic energy repels fake energy. I repeat, the only reason y'all hating on him is because he's being himself.
Mm-hmm. Brother, let me tell you something. I didn't have any equipment. The only thing I had was a phone. And if you listen to my first episodes, it's like listening to like unproduced, low quality record. But you know what I thought about? I went back to when Wu-Tang released the 36 Chambers.
Word, grimy and gritty. Up.
If you listen to 36 Chambers, it was all raw and uncut. You hear the people talking in the background. The EQ is all messed up, but the content was amazing. And that's what drove me when I was like, you know what? I don't have time to be buying all these equipment. I don't have the money either. So I just started producing, dropping episodes. And even between all these years, I've taken pauses here, like breaks, like you. Like, hey, I'm going to take a few weeks break, a month break, 2 months, but I didn't stop. I was like, all right, I got to get back to my thing. And now, in 2023, I'm very consistent now. Like, I have an agenda. I was like, all right, I have these people that want to come in. I'm reaching out to the different folks all over the states, all over the world. And I want to make an impact, because I know that when we join forces and we spread this frequency, it doesn't matter if I have all the equipment or not. But if I'm sending out some positive energy, some pure energy, some organic energy, it's going to touch somebody in the heart, mind, body, or soul. And they're going to be able to use that information at whatever time it is, even if it's right now or 20 years down the line, 30, 40, 50 years down the line, 100 years down the line. But they're going to be able to use that as a library and be like, hey, Eric was on something back in 2023, back in 2018. Khalif was on something. These guys were ahead of their time. And now we're actually understanding a lot of the information that they were trying to share back in the days, you know? And for me, I see that as longevity. Like, our kids being able to listen to my podcast, listen to my dad speak. Oh man, that's my dad right there. He has so much knowledge, but he couldn't share that with me when I was 5, 6, 7, 8, you know? Now I'm 20, now I'm 30. I'm like, man, thank you for all those downloads you left me. You know, my grandkids, my great grandkids. Like, you always, when you talked about that last time, I was like, yes, because I've been seeing that for years. Like, that's one of my goals, is like that my kids can even actually go to my page one of these days, like, dang, great grandpa was on something, bro. Great grandpa was on something. He was a writer in his mind. He was writing content. He was speaking content into existence. And this biography, this autobiography, whatever you want to call it, this information is there, and they're gonna be able to use it. Like, if I was talking to them on a one-on-one basis, you know, like, it's gonna be amazing, bro. It's amazing. I'm already feeling the fruits of that labor. Like, it's just amazing, bro. I feel like I'm already in the future looking back. You know, like, that's amazing right there.
Word, and that's the thing. Like, you know, growing up, like, again, we read a lot of probably the same books. If we go through authors, you probably read a lot. But a lot of times you find self-improvement books, or you find like peak performance books, or you find like these how-to books. They come from such a artificial place. When you start reading them first couple of pages, like, bro, I shouldn't have bought this trash book. Like, I'm like, bro, I can't identify with this. But you and I are the next generations of like the Les Browns, the next generation of the Tony Robbins, the next generation of the Jim Rohns, the next generation, because people can relate. Like, you and I both know what it's like to try to encourage a homie in a very horrible neighborhood, in a horrible situation, where real talk, because that homie's about to do something stupid. Can I get an amen with that? Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these authors don't know that, but we built for a new generation. Because why? Here's the thing. Our people that look like us, whether you're black or brown or whatever, they need to hear the way we talk, how we talk. And that's the thing I share with you on your show. And everybody subscribe to his Infinite Talks podcast now on Spotify. You heard Because again, the reason I'm stressing you do that, because for me, I need to hear other people's stories. And it's super important because I get trapped up in my head sometimes when I don't put good data. Like Eric said earlier, I start reading when I'm working on myself. I'm putting new information in myself. If I don't get new data in my mindset, then I'm going to stay stuck to the fixed patterns of how I think I should figure it out. And that's one of the benefits of why you should subscribe to this podcast and look at it. Just listen to the conversations. How much BS do we listen to every day? Real talk. We be scrolling and surfing and scrolling and surfing and scrolling and surfing and like, okay, it's comedic video. Okay, somebody with the messy talk. Okay, somebody with this. But if they listen to his podcast, Infinite Talks podcast, and you're hearing stories, it's kind of like, yeah, you can do it too. That's the energy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's going to be hard, but you can do it too. That's the energy. One thing I will say, oh man, it slipped my mind. I need some coffee. You know what I'm saying? It slipped my mind. But I wanted to point out there in which you were talking, because you're saying a lot of things, E. And everybody on the pullback, please really listen to what Eric was saying when he's talking, because he's dropping so much like tidbits, but then within the tidbit, it's a great example of the tidbit. And that's what I'm saying, E. Like, when you do your conference, I ain't going to talk fully about it now. You know, he has a conference coming up. I will, you know, to be announced and things of that nature. When he does it, that's what it was. When he does his conference, you know, the reason I'm stressing for him to do that conference is because that was the line I said when Eric was talking that came to my head when he says, and look at this. It hit my mind. It was like, you can't go wrong when you're trying to help somebody. Because even if me and Eric stop today, I've always said this. I said this when I interviewed on his show. I say this online all the time. If I stop doing this show today and it's my last episode, I know in my gut, Eric knows in his gut, that somebody one day is going to go to Spotify, they're going to go to YouTube, and they're going to be having a bad day. And they're going to type in a question, how do I stay motivated? Or how do I get through this story? Like, how do I deal with talking too much? His podcast will come up, my podcast will come up, and the algorithm, the universe is funny that way, because when you pour good, helpful information to help somebody in the universe, they will direct traffic. And the content that we talk about and what we're passionate about is going to save somebody's life. That is literally the mission. 100%. Because I've spent too much of my childhood, literally as a kid, and this is gory for the morning, but whatever. I'll give a quick story. I shut up because I want to hear from Eric more than I hear from myself, because I hear from me every morning. All right, let's move forward. But I never forget, my mother had a friend, true story, Brooklyn, New York. This is the 90s. And towards the tail end of the crack era or whatever like that. And she put her 2 kids on the couch, and I came in. I was like, Mom, why is she tripping? We had her apartment. And she's like, hey, kids. She had a bottle of vodka, and she put out all these pills. And she literally told her kids that she was going to cancel her situation. And I love you, but I'm going to do this. And literally, I was real young. I looked at her. I said, you look mad weak. And she's like, what you talking about, boy? You know what I go through. I said, so you going to give a speech. Tell your kids on the couch that you're about to take these substances and cancel. Do you understand that you're going to look weak to them for the rest of their lives? And then she got mad at me. I think she beat me. I don't remember. My mother stopped her. And I was like, I said, you can, like, and I was that type of kid. If you give me a spanking, I'm still going to talk crap through the spanking. Even I'm crying. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, beat me. I don't care. And I told her, I said, when you drink that, when you take that substances, you gave up. And your kids should be the reason that you should stay up. And then my mother had me kicked out of the house, and it was like, oh, Khalif, you're at this, you're at that. I was like, I don't care if you beat me. You can beat me till I'm in the hospital. It's still a fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've talked about, God help me give people information. But I was like, there's so many people on the internet that's searching for something, that's searching for stratagem, not searching for false hope, that's searching for examples, that's not searching for nonsense. And here's the thing. Everybody's looking for the quick fix. Sometimes there ain't no quick fix. There's just a season. There's a season. Look what Eric said. He said, I started with my cell phone. It wasn't the best, but it was a 10-minute conversation. Same thing with me. When you scroll down to the bottom, I had 2 co-hosts according, to this algorithm and stuff like that. My thumbnails are trash, and I'm going to change them thumbnails. But I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to do it. And you can actually see the evolution. And that's what everybody watching this. Look at Eric's show. Start from the beginning. Go to my show. Start from the beginning. And then see the evolution. Look at the evolution. If you ever doubt that you can do this, look at the evolution. Start from our episode 1. Look at the evolution. You will see the evolution. And even for you and me, Eric, sometimes we got to see, like I tell you all the time, when I told you last time, we got to do like Kobe and look at our game tapes. Look at our. When I heard that Kobe after every game, and not only practiced for an hour after the game, but he went home and looked at the game tapes from the game he played because he was obsessed to get better and better and better. When I listen, I'm from New York, and listen, I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm a Nets fan. Let's get that straight. Brooklyn Nets. So that's another conversation entirely. But studying Kobe is the blueprint. He's like him, Bruce Lee. There are people that are Jedi masters of success, not because they're perfect, because they relentlessly obsess over getting better. And like you, Eric, when you look in your episodes and I look at my episodes, I'm gonna look after the season is chilled out. I'm gonna chill out because I'm gonna have a newborn crying and doo-dooing in the pamper. I ain't got time to live stream. I ain't got time to live stream at all. But really think about how the evolution and how far that we have both come. Even if we're as we walk into our North Star, we haven't achieved it, but we've achieved it because we did it. I repeat, me and Eric may not be where we want to be, but there's this energy that both him and I have. When you accomplish something, you be like, hey, that's something nobody can take away from me. You can't take that away from me. I did it. I did it. I did it. I ain't perfect. My screen fell about 20 minutes ago, and you saw my dirty couch. I did it. I don't care. Let's go. Watch my imperfection. But you, as people hate on my imperfection, you can't hate on this evolution. You understand what I'm saying? Think about it, Eric. Think about what would you tell yourself when you literally started this to help yourself avoid a whole bunch of mental pitfalls that would have stopped you early? What would you have told yourself pre-first episode of your podcast to encourage yourself?
Hey man, just don't listen to anyone. Listen to what you have in your gut feeling. Don't worry about the perfection. Worry about the process. Study the process. Go ahead and move forward. Don't stop. As long as you keep on going in that direction, you're gonna get where you want to be. But having patience, having the inner gut feeling to do the work, mindset, being able to tune out and tune in to what's good for you. Tune out of all the drama and tune into what's gonna be good for you. Like that's probably the best thing you can delete from your life is like tune out the drama. And when I say drama, it's not maybe just like what's going on in your life. I'm talking about like the extra stuff that you put in. Sorry for that. The extra stuff that you put in your mind from like listening to music, watching shows that are like fictional shows that have a negative point of view in life. All of that drama, all of those algorithms you create for yourself are gonna derail you from where you need to go. So I would tell myself just stay the course. Delete the XYZs and continue with the ABCs, like the fundamentals with hard work, vision, determination, mindset. Let's go. Let's keep on going in that right direction, man. And just being, strong, bro. Strong, mentally strong, heart strong, spiritually strong. You're gonna go into the right direction. Anything can come into your path, but if you're going in the right direction, you're gonna know what to do in that particular situation to continue to go forward and accomplish what you need to accomplish. I think before we go in this world, before we die, I feel like if you're in your right decision making, you're gonna be able to manifest anything that was supposed to be manifested between your birth and your death. So that's my vision. Like, hey, I'm still alive. I'm still going in the right direction. Either I die in a few years from now or many, many years from now. I'm doing research on how to live like very a long life. So I'm like, you know what? Whatever God has in store for me, but I'm gonna try to manifest as much as I can. That's gonna help me and others, not just myself. No, but I want to impact the people around me, my community, because it's all about like expanding on your mind, bro. Like I feel like we're kept in a small circle, and we think that circle is huge. Created that little algorithm for us, and I say they, I'm talking about people with power, and I'm like, they created these algorithms for us, and they know that the large a population, like a large part of the population, will be stuck in that circle. But then there's people like us that are like, hey man, let me get out of that matrix. Let me get out, and then oh whoa, there's a huge circle here. I was stuck in this little bubble. I took out that bubble. I was like, wait, this I can create a building. Somebody created this building. Somebody created these roads. Somebody created these laws. Somebody created these businesses. Everyone's a creator,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to use God's energy to create the right manifestations in your life, man. Like as soon as you start learning that, the thought process has to do a lot. Like I feel now, like if I get a small idea of whatever, as soon as I have it in my mind, I do something to reach it, and then boom, it's right there. It's like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
man. I started practicing that, and then I started seeing the bigger things come. Like I was like, just practice with the small things first. Like if you, let's say you just imagine, oh, I feel like eating a burger today. Let me make my own burger, and you just visualize it. But later on tonight, when you get home, you actually put the meat together. You create that little, patty. You grill it, and then you put it in a bun, and then you start eating it. It went from mind to manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
That simple little algorithm you created now is going to be working in your favor. Now you're going to be making decisions to make that reality that was in your mind happen. And everything's possible, bro. So I need to work more on perfecting that vision. And I like that you share a lot of tips in your show that are helping me get to that next level in my life and my career, my professionalism, everything that I do, my family, my personal life, everything, bro. Put it all together because it's not easy, but nobody's gonna do it for me. I need to do it for myself, and then I need to reach out to people like you that have the same energy to like we can all put it all together, man. Use this wave of energy to create our own dreams into reality, man. So that's why I'm doing my podcast, bro. That's one of the main reasons. So I'm reaching out to people that are in the same mindset and they can share their journeys so that we can all be this huge wave of information, huge wave of positivity. Because there's so many huge waves of negativity, and that's the drama
Mm.
I'm trying to tell you. That's the drama that I'm trying to tell you. Like you don't need to go to those waves. There's no reason to be in those waves. They put those waves for us so that we can fall victim to those circles and algorithms. Let's create our own waves and let's make some impact in the world, man.
Let me backtrack because you always, again, people, I don't want y'all to miss what he's saying. In order to move further, you got to clean the drama out of your life, what we listen to, what we watch. When he said that, the first thing I thought about, Dag, I loved ratchet reality TV. But I've spent hours, right? I spent hours and hours and hours of our people looking a mess on camera. And then when I turn on the TV and when it comes to my goals, guess what? I spent hours and hours looking at the same thought pattern, and it was affecting my thought pattern. And some people are like, oh my God, you shouldn't let TV affect you. I say, bro, programming is programming is programming is programming. You know what I'm saying? If I'm trying to be vegan, I'm not going to chill with my homies that eat brisket every day. Like that's just it's not going to mess up my journey. You know what I'm saying? In the beginning. The second thing he said that was really key when he talks about the algorithm and the hamburger example of manifestation. I know when people hear that word manifestation, they tune out, oh my God, hear her. No, it's as simple as that. Fellas, when you want to talk to that one young lady and you kept on picturing in your mind, oh, she lets me speak in a conversation. Oh, we're having a conversation. Oh, we're having a great time. And then when you do it in the physical, you've already soared in your brain. And you manifested the outcome. Let's make it also simple. Fellas, I'm talking to fellas right now because, we're the most hard-headed in the world. Let's be honest, we're the most stubborn. For you fellas that are watching that maybe, feel like, oh, this manifestation stuff, that whole hum stuff, I got real life stuff. Oh, you don't think they ain't real? You ever had a fight, fellas, and you be like, yo, I don't like that person. And you start picturing what you're going to do in the fight, like the Sherlock Holmes movies when Robert Downey Jr. was like, first, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. He manifested that outcome. The food example is the best example. Listen, I'm a big cook. I like steaks and I like salmon. Big cook. But before I cook it, what am I doing? I said, all right, this is what I'm going to do with my rub today. And I'm picturing me making my steak. Should I use the cast iron or should I use a regular pan? I'm getting this. And we start thinking about what we're going to eat. That is the perfect example of manifestations. It don't have to be that ho-hum as the internet likes to make it. It can be that simple, like Eric said, making a burger or what you want to eat later that night. And you picture the process of doing it, and then you do it, and then you taste the results from what you do. I don't understand why nobody on the internet is not saying it the way that Eric is saying. It's just a fact. And for everybody watching right now, if you want a YouTube show and you're like, I don't know what to do, and I don't know, do what Eric said. Get in and figure it out. Get in and figure it out. And I want everybody to subscribe to the Infinite Talks podcast. But before we go today, I want to hear two things from Eric. Number one, what was your last episode about? And number two, what's your next episode looking about?
All right. So my last episode, and thank you for asking that question. My last episode was about, well, let me tell you about the last two episodes because they're very, very important things that I need to talk about. And I'm passionate about this. The previous episode before the last episode, is called toxic stress. I talked about toxic stress. And I talked about this because a lot of people don't know about this. And because I know about it because of what I do for work. I work with speech therapy, I do intervention, I do work with kids that have been through trauma, or just, have a delay. But I learned that there was this research being done by Harvard University, and they were working on, children who had trauma in their lives. They had adverse childhood experiences of neglect, abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, trauma of any kind of sort. So these kiddos, with this trauma, this toxic stress, if when they started doing the research, they saw that their brains had shrunk,
What?
that their brains weren't growing at a high rate, at a better rate. And I'm gonna put it all together. You're gonna start like, wow, now I know what's going on in our environment. So all of these kids that have been through these adverse experiences, their brain shrinks and shrivels and doesn't expand, doesn't is not able to learn, is not able to become a successful human being because they're not able to learn, they're not able to communicate as effectively as others, and then they become the abuser. They become that toxic stressor now later on in life, or they have a poor quality of life. They have heart problems, health problems, mind, a lot of psychological problems, spirituality. All that stuff is out the window because they don't have that brain. They don't have the engine working 100%. So what happens and I want y'all to look at this episode, go check it out, and then I want you to do your own homework, and I want you to see these MRIs on kids' brains of a normal developing child compared to a child that's been through so much trauma, and you're gonna see how the impact of the brain, how it looks next to each other. A brain that's fully functional with a brain that's been through trauma, it's a game changer, bro. So I'm like, wow, a lot of these kids are suffering, and then they end up being the adults that become part of the society that's they're criminals, they're drug abusers, they become the abuser, the abused, and they become a part of that cycle of life, so they don't expand more. So I talk about toxic stress. And then the last episode that I just released on Saturday, I talked to a golden boy boxer. His name is
Word?
Alex Rincon. Yes,
Wow.
Alex Rincon. He's an upcoming boxer for Golden Boy, and I wanted to get his take on the Ryan Garcia fight versus Gervonta Davis. It's gonna be an amazing fight this coming Saturday, and he's done a lot of behind the mic scenes. He's done commentary. He's an avid boxer, and he's coming up. He's undefeated. He's 10-0, 7 knockouts. So I wanted to get his point because I've done an interview with him for maybe like in 2021. I reached out to him and going back to like reaching out to people and see what happens. And I reached out to him. He's like, "Hey man, yeah, let's do the episode." So we did an episode back in 2021, and I was like, "Man, before this fight, I need to talk to Alex Rincon. This guy's an amazing, inspiring, talented young guy. He's 27 years old. He's been boxing for about 5, 6 years. He's also a musician. He's an artist. He's a trainer. He's a personal trainer. He has his own personal training business. And this guy is going all out in every single facet of life, of like spiritually, mentally, physically. I'm like, man, I need to reach out to Mr. Rincon, Alex Rincon, and see like what background, what ideas he has, and then what his thought process for this fight is coming up. And it was an amazing interview, bro. It was a short 48-minute interview or 38-minute interview, but something around it wasn't like a long hour. It was a short, quick episode, but it was very impactful, a lot of information. So these episodes that I'm talking about, I'm always talking about positivity, but I'm also using negative things that are going on in the world. So you can wake up and be like, hey man, you know why our kids are suffering? You know why they create these algorithms for us? Because they want us to be that. They want to know. It's like this. They created a formula, and I'm saying I'm talking people with higher power. They created the formulas for us to be victim to like, hey, we know what's gonna happen to these people. Maybe like
Mm-hmm.
3% come out of there. But we can control those 3%. We don't care what happens to that 97%. Let them fall victim to the society, that cycle of life. But those 3%, if they come out of there on top, we can handle that. But it's those 97%, and we are the 97%. That's why I want to teach people, hey man, educate yourselves. There's brain regeneration. It's called neurogenesis. And I talk about that on my show a lot. I talk about neurogenesis because even those kids that have been through trauma, with neurogenesis, if you have the right mindset, breathing, breath work, the right nutrition, the right physical activity, and the right people around you, those 5 factors, that brain can regrow itself. It's called neurogenesis.
I didn't know that. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, get the book. It's called Spark by Dr. James Rady. And I think it's the other guy. There's 2 doctors, Eric Hemmerman and Dr. James Rady. The name of the book is called Spark. It was, I think it was published back in 2016, 2014, something around there. But they talk about neurogenesis and how that, how we can use all these 5 factors that I just talked about for regrowing your brain and becoming the best version of yourself from the mind, brain, and then everything else coming with it. They talk about how they've used these 5 things to recover from, any kind of addiction, to regrow your brain from, mental abuse, child abuse, all kinds of abuse, neglect, how you can rewire your brain and how that impacts everything else, how you can become a successful speaker, talker, learner, you can become a better version of yourself. So that's what I talk about, bro. Talk about all these factors in my show, and not in that sequential order, but every so often I'll talk about all these topics. Mind, body.
Do y'all see why I like his show? Do you see this? This is what I'm talking, because it's helpful information. Yo, bro, this is what I didn't know this. Listen, I like new information. First of all, number one, big shout out to you for remembering the authors, because I'm horrible with that. I'm just like, it's by somebody you can find on Amazon. Just type in the name of the book, like real talk. Like, well, bro, I really, really, really appreciate it. I'm not going to hold you. I'm going to look at your last episode because Alex is doing it. Alex is using every piece of his gift. And that when you described his background, it's inspiring. He's like, oh, I'm doing commentary. I run my own business, personal trainer. I am 10-0, and I'm knocked out 7 people. Well, no, Alex, you've knocked out more than 10 goals. That's what that said to me. You're knocking out 10 goals. Oh, he's an artist, and he's in a Golden Boy promotion. First of all, being part of Golden Boy, that's another degree of pressure to live up to expectations. But while he's dealing with that pressure, he's pouring out all of his gifts and doing it. To me, like that, everybody go subscribe to the Infinite Talks podcast, because I'm going to listen to that last episode, because I like brain work. Pause. I'm sorry. I'm from New York. Pause. Excuse me. I like strategy. About brain work. Pause, brother. I like strategy. And the fact that somebody like Alex, it makes me want to hear his story. The whole toxic stress. I'm like, wow. I thank you for mentioning the book, because I was going to ask you. I was like, yo, but how does a person get out of that? How does that person get out of those patterns? And you drop the book. This is what I'm talking about. I would have never met Eric if I would have never put myself out there. For everybody watching this, put yourself out there. Put your gift out there. If you feel like you're too old and you can't do it, hey, to all the old cats, I'm going to say this, and I said this on Eric's show. If you want to be a rapper, there is a 40-year-old rapper lane happening right now. To all the guys that feel like, yo, I don't have all the equipment. Eric said a story, a life story about his father, and his father, always to be a broadcast journalist and things of that nature. And now he's doing what his father wanted to do. Think about the generation before you, everybody watching this, that isn't doing what we have the capabilities with our phone to do. Remember, you know how much camera equipment probably cost in the 80s and the 70s? It was like cost the price of a car. But we have the power in our hands to make anything happen.
100%, man.
But thank you, E, for coming on the show. Do not hang up immediately, because I'm going to stop the show. We'll talk for a little bit after. I know you got things to do. But listen, as I do every morning, everybody, thank you for watching the Morning Motivation Show, this season 1. Please subscribe to the Infinite Talks podcast on Spotify right now. And Eric, like I do with everybody that comes to my show, we're going to get this morning bounce. Let's morning bounce our way at the show. Do not hang up, because I'll talk to you after this. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up? What's up? Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up? What's up? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up? What's up? Good morning, good morning. I see you with the shades, homie. Hey, that's a wrap for season 1. Thank you to the guest, Eric Castillo. Listen to Infinite Talks podcast on Spotify now. You know the vibes. I'll see you guys on season 2. Thank you so much. But just to your whole day, everybody. When you go to work, just bounce. Bounce. Just bounce. Thanks, E. Stay on the line. Everybody have a great one. I'll see you on the other side. Peace.